Hello, everybody! Yippee! Moog da yo! Hello, and welcome to the third episode of Moog's Book Talk, where I am Moog and we talk about books. Whoa, that's crazy! Who would have thought? Anyway, first things first, before we get into anything, I am wearing my hat. So let's sort that out. Secondly, this is the third episode. I'm still kind of figuring it all out. There's a lot of yapping involved, a lot of yapping. I want there to be some sense of structure, and some yapping is good. So I want it to be more like yap adjacent, Does that even make sense? I don't think it does. Anyway, we're gonna be having a little chat, you and I. Firstly, we will do the usual segment that I do at the start, where I go over some of the things I've been reading. I'm pretty sure last time I was like deep in my reading slump and I hadn't read like anything. I still have not read as much, but I've at least got some stuff to talk about, which is nice. Yeah. Then we are going to be just chatting a bit about different reading formats, which, if you don't know what I mean by that, I mean physical books and ebooks and audiobooks. I'm going to be talking about them and talking about my experience with them, because I feel like I'm one of the few people that uses all three. So I feel like I am a good person to consult on, such things. Talking about maybe what situations would be good for each one, and just, my overall experience with it. Last episode, cannot lie, was a bit of a mess. I think we just don't elaborate further and we pray that the same doesn't happen again today. Let's hope we actually get somewhere. We're still kind of in the workshop phase, I think. But eventually things will be a bit more stable. I think the guest episodes are going to happen pretty soon, and hopefully that will be the start of the proper book talk era. Anyway, what we're going to do here is I'm going to open up my Goodreads. It wants to work. Sometimes my window capture is a bit buggy. Oh, there we go. If I click on red, is it going to take me to that page? Oh, it is. Excellent. I don't want that yet, though. Actually, no, I do want that now. Let's do that. So, what have I been reading recently? What is this order? Oh, average rating. Date read. That's what we want. No, we want the other way. Okay, so I think last time I was talking about all of this, I was like partway through Powerless, I believe. So I had a bit of a reading slump, mainly just because like there was a point where I read two big books in a row that were just very mid. very mid. There's these two books here, Powerless and Tender as the Flesh, right? Two very different books, I have to say. You can't quite see it there, but I gave them both 3 stars. I don't know if I gave them the same rating on Storygraph. Let me check. Because on Storygraph, you can give like half stars, quarter stars, all that kind of thing. Which can sometimes make a difference. So let me just check if I rated them both the same on there. I feel like I did. I'm not sure. No. Okay, so Tender as the Flesh got a 2.75 actually on my Storygraph. Oh, and Powerless got a 3. So I feel like I don't know. It's hard to quantify which one I enjoyed more than the other, because I disliked them both for very different reasons. If I go into this one first, so 10 Days of Flesh is like a kind of speculative dystopian fiction thing, and it's basically about legalized cannibalism. Yeah, it's a bit grim, but like the concept in that was really interesting, so I was like, oh, you know, I'll give this a go. I don't really read like normal fiction. By that I mean like non-fantasy stuff. I don't really read that, but I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try because it sounded interesting. Hello K9, welcome in. And it was all right for the most part, but then I think maybe like the midway point, I won't like spoil it or anything, but there were things that happened in it that were like, I mean, I was gonna say a bit gross, but I know like the whole book is gross, but like not gross in a fun way. Not gross in the way I signed up for when I read the synopsis, you know? It went in a direction I was not a fan of, but I was like, okay. It wasn't like enough for me to be like, oh, fuck this. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna roll with it and we're just gonna see how it goes. Because the thing is about Tender as the Flesh, right? It's not a very long book. In fact, how long is it? It's like 200 something pages. Yeah, 226 pages, right? Hi, Olivia. Hello. Yeah, it's like 200 pages. So I was like, you know what? It's a short little book. I'm just going to stick with it. In fact, what did it take me like 2 days to read? Like I read it over 2 days, which for me is oh no, I didn't. Huh? Oh, maybe I think I stopped actually. Wait, this might have been when I got sick. Yeah, this was when I got sick, so that's why I stopped. Otherwise, yeah, I would have read it in like 2 sessions. Anyway, so I was like, I'll stick it through. But then by the end, I was like, I mean, I still would say if you read like the synopsis and the concept, right, and it sounds interesting to you, then like it's like 200 pages. Fuck it. You might as well give it a go, right? Plus I got it on like the 99p Kindle deal. So I really feel like I didn't lose anything. But at the same time, did I gain anything? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. In charge of the book club. Oh, hell yeah. 8 of them. Nice. What? Why would they join? Did they like have to join a club? Is that why? And they were just like, oh, let's pick that. What books are you picking? What books have they been reading? Maybe they expected one type of book and got another. I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious though about what you've been showing them, showing the youths. So, I said with this one, right, I was like, okay, you know, if you're interested in it, it's not very long. You might as well give it a try. Powerless, on the other hand, this book is way too long. I mean, it's 500-ish pages, right? Which you'd think is not that long, right? The thing is, for me, because I don't read a lot of like big books, which I want to change at some point, I want to challenge myself a bit. For me, anything over like 400 is like kind of long. Anything over 500, you have to justify it. This does not justify it. It, like, hang on, this doesn't look very nice. Let me go back here. So with Powerless, right, it has so many scenes that are just so repetitive. There are scenes in which it's basically just the same thing happening on 2 different occasions. Like they have multiple scenes that are like ballroom, like dances or whatever. And those scenes are pretty much identical, apart from like one thing that happens. They are pretty much the same and it feels a bit pointless. Also, they do, because it's one of those books that has like multiple POVs, which a lot of books like doing now, when you don't always have to do it. there are scenes where like you'll read a scene from like one character's perspective and then it will immediately go to another character's perspective, which in theory is fine. But what you need to do with that is you set time-wise, you set it the exact moment that the previous chapter ends. But no, instead what this book does is that it will explain to you pretty much the exact same scene that just happened from the other character's point of view, which in some, like, you can describe certain things in terms of like internal monologue and stuff, right? But they legit just repeat dialogue from other characters, and it's like, I know they said this, I just read this literally a few pages ago. And then it does like a bit more, and it's like, is it necessary? So there are other things in Powerless that I didn't like in terms of like the plot and like all that kind of thing, but the main thing that really kind of got me at it's just the actual writing a bit. Like this book needed to be edited. It could have been, I reckon, a good like 100 pages shorter. It's just like, I don't mind reading a long book if it makes sense for it to be long, you know? But this does not. Anyway, now that that tangent is over, let me just catch up on the chat real quick. This is what happens with book talk, everybody. Because it's kind of podcast style, I don't want to like interrupt a tangent midway to respond to things. So also, actually, a lot of my alerts will be like visuals only. In fact, where's my alert box? Oh, there. I thought my alert box wasn't there. A lot of stuff will be like visuals only and no sound, just so that I can finish my tangent and then, you know, respond to people. And I hope that that makes sense. Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the other things on offer are. I guess, like, I don't know if they're not interested in like anything, if that is like the easiest. Kind of like how with Sports Day, how we were like forced to do a thing, and like Tug of War was always the one that the people that didn't want to do anything picked. I was one of those people, just to clarify. Where the crawdads sing. Ugh. I don't think I would have cared about that as a year 10 or year 11. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't really care about it now, but it's just not my thing. Fancy Yoshi! Hello, welcome in. Can I've probably said this to you before, but I really like your username. You're not just a Yoshi, you're a fancy one. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I love that for you. I just need to fix a thing on my screen real quick that I messed up. There we go. But yeah, where was I at? So Powerless, I don't think I would recommend it. It has an average rating of 4.22, and I'm like, why? Like, it's all right. If you are a fan of the romantasy books that are kind of mid, because look, listen, I think they're kind of mid, but they do have a fan base, and I respect that. You know, there's obviously people that like it because it's got a 4.22. I just didn't really care for it. I obviously finished it, but I was just like, meh, you know. It was another like 99p Kindle deal, so honestly, I'm not too fussed. I'm gonna look, because there's like a book that's like set in between, and then there's also like a sequel that came out fairly recently. I want to see if like the ratings get lower, if it like declines. So Powerful is like the prequel thing. That's only slightly lower. And Reckless is a little lower. I don't know. I just didn't like it. Like, I'll have a look later, thank you. I wouldn't say that I hated this book. I was like, oh, really? This is what people have chosen to be popular? I'm not sure. Anyway. I mean, if people like it, they like it. But anyway, what I'm reading now, I really should put The Unbroken on my on hold list, because I'm pretty sure it was at this same percentage the last episode. No, I haven't stopped reading it because I don't like it. I've actually really enjoyed reading The Unbroken. It's just because I've just been reading so much stuff on my Kindle lately, and this is like a physical book for me. And I guess we'll talk about that a bit more when we talk about book formats. I started Long Live Evil, and then a similar kind of thing happened. So I can't really talk about that much, only because I've read like a couple of chapters, but I'm sure I will read more of both of these. The Unbroken I definitely talked about in more detail in episode 2. So you can go look at that if you would like to. It'll be on my YouTube. And then Long Live Evil, I'm sure I will read more of this, and then when I do, I can discuss it in a future episode. Yippee! Whereas A Dark and Drowning Tide, this one here, I started very recently. So even though I've only read a little bit, I can actually talk a little bit about this because I literally started it like 2 days ago. And actually this might, dare I say, this might help me with my reading slump, because I cannot lie, I've only read like 2 chapters, but I'm really into it, everyone. I'm not surprised, because ever since I saw it, because it's like a new release, right? It sounded like it was up my alley. And like, let me, can I show you the cover? Am I able to do that? Because I know you can't really see it on this screen because of how I've cropped it. Maybe not. Hang on. Oh, can you see it here? I mean, you can kind of see it here. This, like, it's gorgeous aesthetically. Also, the US cover is really nice too. And it's quite rare for a book that has a different US and UK cover for them to be like equally nice. It's quite rare actually. And it's like a dark academia thing, which I've dipped my toes into on occasion. And it's got like fantasy elements in it, and it's sapphic, you know, we like the girlies, and we like the girlies who like other girlies. And it's like a academic rivals to lovers kind of sitch, which is quite fun. I like that. And I've read 2 chapters so far, and we've got like, I mean, I can't summarize too much because I've only read 2 chapters, but it's like they're students at this school, right? And I think one of the professors or something is leading this big like expedition to find some kind of, I don't know if it's like a relic or some kind of place of like myth that they're pretty sure is real, right? And there's like a bunch of like super top level students going, and then there's these 2 that she's kind of like taken under her wing as like, you know, one of them is gonna lead the expedition. And it's this whole thing of like, oh, who's it going to be? And that's like the main 2 characters in this book. So you have this girl who's like super academically talented, super pretty. Everyone loves her, and she's like kind of mysterious. She's some kind of aristocrat. I think she's like a duke's daughter or something, and everyone loves her, and it's a whole thing. And then there's the other character who's like up for it, who like is kind of a loner and like is kind of aloof and no one really likes. But I like her. It's not in like a I'm not like other girls thing. It's not like a super angsty thing. She's just like not very sociable, and doesn't really like the other girl very much. And it's like a whole thing, and it's great. But I've only read 2 chapters so far, so I can't really tell you that much about the story. But I'm a big fan already. I'm a big fan. Also, I got like a really nice Waterstones edition, right? I wonder if I can show you. Will it like, ignore that I have Aura as my wallpaper, okay? Or like my screensaver thing. Let me go on like the Waterstones website real quick. It's not lewd, okay? She was just like laying on a bed in pajamas, all right? It's fine. I'm not breaking the immersion, all right? Yeah, so there's like, this is a kind of, I know you still can't see the whole thing and it's really annoying me, but I don't want to like recrop it. Oh, you can't even, hang on. I got this. You know what? Let me copy the image, right? What do you mean hang on. Let me save it and I'll put it on the screen that way. Wait, what? Why won't it let me save the picture? That's actually so rude. Huh? Okay, let me just like uncrop it and then I can crop it back. Look, the sprayed edge kind of like, it kind of like continues the cover art. It's pretty, right? You know it's a good Waterstone special edition when it sells out before the book even comes out. But I got one. In fact, I think it's been restocked, so maybe they either reprinted or people like cancelled pre-orders or something. I was about to check if like if any of my locals had it, and then I realized I'd be doxing myself. So I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, it's pretty, right? Also, let me go back to Goodreads now. Yeah, the Onyx Storm one sold out. I think it was like an hour or so, no? It was quite quick. I got one. Teehee. Listen, I might cancel it. I don't know. If I manage to get the Fairy Loot one, then I probably will cancel it because I don't need to, but like, I just wanted to secure my pre-order, all right? Honestly, I'm down. Potentially. If I decide I don't want it, then maybe I can like keep it and then give it to you. Or like sell it to you. It ain't cheap. We'll see. You know what? It's crazy because it's the first time I've ever seen on a book like sprayed edges to be revealed. They had placeholder sprayed edges. I have never seen that before. Wild. I haven't actually finished Iron Flame yet. Oops. Anyway. Why was I? Oh yeah, so A Dark and Drowning Tide is actually the Illumicrate book this month, and I'm really excited because I really like Illumicrate, and they've done some really good books recently, right? Some really nice editions. I haven't read any of the recent books, so I can't speak on those. But my only issue with Illumicrate compared to like other book boxes is that they pretty much never do alternate covers anymore, and it sucks. Like, I understand why they can't do it every month, but like when you just have like an alternate colorway for every month this year, it's like, I don't know, there's other book boxes that do it pretty much every month, so it's not a good look. But they have said that this one is going to have like an alternate cover, so I'm really excited to see what that looks like, because all the like official artwork of this book I've seen has been gorgeous. I can't remember who the artist is that's doing the Illumicrate cover, but I remember looking at their stuff and thinking it looked really cool, so I can't wait to get it. But it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be like end of the month. That's another thing about Illumicrate. The past few months the books have come pretty late. Like, there's been a couple of months this year where the book has arrived like in the next month, and it's like, not a fan of that, Illumicrate. But generally I like Illumicrate a lot. There's just a few things that they need to work out, I think. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I still kind of want to do a hand cam stream where I show off some of my pretty books, but at the same time, I don't want to like get all my books down. So maybe I'll just make it a YouTube video instead. I don't know. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the thing is with a lot of these book boxes is that you can skip months. Like Illumicrate, you can just skip however many you want, and there's like an Instagram account, I think it's called like Autumn Book Reads or something, where they guess what the books are gonna be, and I have never seen them be wrong. Like, they always know what the book's gonna be, and I'm like, how? So I can kind of figure out what it's gonna be based on that. And so far, I think Illumicrate I've been subscribed to since June or May. And I've skipped one book. I skipped October's book. And yeah, I've kept all the ones so far because I thought my other logic with the book boxes is that I was like, it might get me to try books that I normally wouldn't have picked, right? Especially because a lot of them pick like debut authors or like marginalized authors and stuff. So I was like, you know what? It might lead me to things that I wouldn't have heard of otherwise. Because there have been a few where I've read the descriptions of the books and I'm like, that actually sounds really good. How have I never heard of this? I don't know. I feel like with Fairy Loot, they do less skips. I am not a Fairy Loot subscriber yet because their waitlist is like a year long. They've gotten to the end of January this year on their waitlist, and I joined the waitlist in April. So I reckon if I'm lucky, I should be on it by the end of the year or like early next year, I reckon. It's very long, and the thing, like, a lot of the books that I really want, I do buy on like Vinted. The problem is with Fairy Loot is some of them, because I feel like Fairy Loot is the most popular one, and some of their editions are really sought after. So they sell secondhand for so expensive. Oh my God. Like the Divine Rivals one is insane. It's absolutely insane. But like the Fairy Loot ones are gorgeous. And to be fair, I feel like with Illumicrate and like Fairy Loot and that, they also do like, they do their box books, but then they also do like separate editions. So those are quite good for like, you know, if you don't want to subscribe, but there's like a book you like, they're doing a nice edition of. And it's good to be subscribed because usually you get bonus, you get like the pre-sale, which is mainly why I want to subscribe to Fairy Loot. I can't lie. Let's see. Also, Illumicrate do like another box that's like 4 times a year called Evernight, which is like horror themed. And I've only got one from Evernight so far, but it looks really sick and I can't wait to read it. And I do want to read more horror. They're also doing a sci-fi one next year, which looks pretty neat. Because that is one thing I've really wanted to do, is get into more sci-fi. Because I read a lot of fantasy, but I don't really read much sci-fi, and I'd like to try, you know? Also, I think Fairy Loot are doing like an epic fantasy one, which is great. Because Fairy Loot really likes romantasy. And I don't. I like some of it. They have a separate romantasy box, but somehow you still sometimes get romantasy in the main box. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just, I don't always want a romance, you know? Not always. Not as like the main plot. I don't know. I still am trying to give it a chance. I'm trying to learn. Oh yeah, Emily What? Yeah. I haven't read the Emily Wilde ones. I've been intrigued. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of go on and off in terms of like, if I want to read it or not. I changed my mind. Like initially I was like, nah, not really my thing. And then I saw someone talking about it and I was like, oh, maybe I do want to check it out. But recently I'm like, can't be bothered. I don't know. We'll see. If it ever comes up on like a 99p Kindle deal, then I'll probably buy it. It's just buying like a physical copy feels like more of a commitment. Because I know it's technically not that much more expensive. I mean, but it's not like, you know, it's not like it's like a 20 quid hardback, right? But it's also the commitment of like physically owning it, if that makes sense. It's like, yeah, sci-fi. I mean, I guess a lot of genres can be like that. But yeah, I have heard that about sci-fi. I've heard that about horror as well. I do want to get into more horror books also. But yeah, I've heard that both of those can be pretty hit or miss. Like I have all of the June books on my Kindle because they were all in like a 99p sale once, and I was like, well, they're 99p each. I might as well get them. So, you know, I bought them. I might as well give them a try. What else? I think I got Annihilation on my Kindle not that long ago. Because I'm quite interested in that. That seems pretty cool. I don't know. There's certain aspects of sci-fi that I don't really care for. Like, you know, stuff like The Martian or whatever, where it's just like some guy in space. Like, I don't really care. Respectfully, it's not for me. I want like the real kind of out there stuff. Like there's I guess like Gideon the Ninth in that is technically sci-fi, right? Stuff like that interests me. I started Gideon the Ninth a little while ago, and I think I need to revisit it because I was enjoying it, but I felt like, I don't know, I feel like my comprehension was just not working. I think I need to go back and take it in a bit more. Oh yeah, Not in Love. Yeah. I've never read any of the Ali Hazelwood books. Again, because I'm not really a romance person, although I haven't really read any of the like contemporary romances, like, you know, Ali Hazelwood and like Hannah Grace and whatever. I am intrigued to try though. I want to try one, you know, just to see. But yeah, I've heard that a lot of Ali Hazelwood books are kind of the same. And I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes they can be the same in a good way, you know? Like if the formula works. Yeah, I've heard some interesting things about Bride. And actually, I got a review copy of it through NetGalley before it even came out, so a while ago, just because I was curious. And I haven't read it, but I have heard some interesting things. And I mean, I do own it, so I might do that just out of curiosity. Plus, I think if I did, it'd be a pretty fun book talk topic. Maybe I'd do like a YouTube video about it. Like my experience reading this book. Yeah, I don't know much in terms of specifics. I've heard it gets pretty interesting in that department. Yeah, I mean, also it seems very different from the other things that she's written, because it has more of like a supernatural element. Which makes it a bit more interesting to me, at least. I've lost my tangent, everyone. I've lost it. It's gone. The train of thought has departed from the station. Anyway, let's get rid of this now. One moment, please, everyone. Let's get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. We don't need it. Hi, Bonnie. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yippee. All right. Here's what we're gonna yap about now, everyone. I managed to draw that out for 40 minutes. Incredible. That is the power of my yapping skills, people. Come on. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna hydrate real quick. I also need to keep an eye on the ads manager, because I don't want the ads to run mid-tangent, all right? They're gonna have to run, but hopefully it'll be once I've finished, you know? So here's what I'm talking about, right? Here's what I'm talking about. I am talking about different reading formats. Because I've talked about this with a lot of people. I've had this same conversation with multiple people, and I was like, I feel like I have a lot to say on this topic. So I want to, you know, get it out there for the people, because I know there'll be a lot of people that are, you know, maybe interested in getting into reading, because that's another thing I want to do. That's why I didn't just make this like a book club. I want to just talk about books in general. So A, it's more accessible, like in the first place, to people that don't necessarily read, but also so that maybe I can encourage some people to give it a try, because I think it is a very good hobby to have. Yes, I will always support it. And also it's a lot more accessible than a lot of people think. So we are going to be talking about the big three reading formats, which are obviously we've got physical books, right? You know, your Bob standard books, hardbacks, paperbacks. I guess that's like a subcategory of that, which is interesting. And then we've got ebooks, which is, you know, your stuff on your Kindle. Other e-readers are available. Like Kobo, like the Kobo ones are quite interesting. And then there are audiobooks, like Audible, please sponsor me. Please sponsor Moog's Book Talk, please. And also did you know that you can get audiobooks on Spotify? Like if you have a premium Spotify subscription, you get like 15 hours a month of audiobooks for free. Did you know that? You've got no excuses, man. You got no excuses. Would PhD count? PhD dissertation? I mean, dissertations are pretty long, right? Oh, maybe. I mean, in a way, maybe it does. That is a very philosophical question of what counts as a book. Maybe. So, the first thing I thought about, right, while I was thinking, like, how can I compare these three? Because there was a point not that long ago where I was doing all three pretty actively. I don't listen to audiobooks as much as I used to, for no particular reason. But I was like, okay, what are like some categories that I can compare all of them kind of evenly? And I thought like, okay, which one would be like the cheapest or the more expensive? And the thing is, they're all kind of similar in the sense that they all have like cheap options, you know? Yo, Luckstar, thank you so much for the raid. Why is my alert box like that? There we go, I fixed that. Hello. I will briefly continue my tangent, but I hope that your stream went well and I hope you're doing good. So all of the different book formats, right? Like, for example, I thought initially that physical books would be the most expensive because, like, you know, you're like getting a book collection and it's something that takes a lot of time and can be very expensive. But then I was like, well, you can just go to the library. Like, the library is such a good resource, all right? I need to emphasize this. Use your libraries, people, all right? They need loving. Give them some love, all right? Use your friggin' libraries, okay? Do it. I am a big library supporter. Castlevania. I don't know much about Castlevania, but I've obviously seen it in Dead by Daylight, and it was very cool. Very cool. Right, give me a moment. There we go. And then I was thinking, like, with the ebooks, right? I was like, oh, I mean, they can sometimes be kind of expensive. But also you can get like the 99p deals and stuff. What was I? Oh god. Oh yeah, and also you can get ebooks and audiobooks from some libraries as well. Some of them will have like limited selections, but there's an app called, I think it's called Libby. And a lot of like, even my tiny little local libraries in the middle of nowhere use Libby, and you can get like ebooks and audiobooks on there. So if you think like, oh, I need to buy a bunch of stuff to be able to do it, you can get them from your library also, which is very cool. The selection might be a bit more limited, but they're there, which is very nice. But also I thought at the same time with ebooks, you kind of like have to get a device like a Kindle or like another e-reader or whatever, and that can be expensive. But then you can read ebooks on like your phone or your iPad or whatever. I mean, in my opinion, getting an actual e-reader is better because you can like not have the backlight of the screen on, so it's better on your eyes, and it's just an overall better experience. But you don't have to have one, you know? Like, if you're not sure if reading's for you or not, you can like get some ebooks and try it on whatever device you already have, and then if you like it, then you can get an e-reader, you know? So that's pretty cool. I got my Kindle from CEX secondhand, which also helped on the cost because I traded in a bunch of stuff. So that was neat. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like for like my secondary school library, right? When I went there were two. I specifically remember there were two different manga series, and I remember exactly what they were. They were Death Note and they were Full Moon, and I was mind blown because it was the first time I'd ever seen like physical manga, and I was like, oh my god. And by the time I left that school, there was so much manga there. It was wild. It grew partially, not completely, but partially because I kept pestering the librarian to get more. I mean, Death Note was pretty popular there. I remember there being long queues to borrow it. I wonder how much manga they have now. Oh, because that was a fair bit ago. I don't want to talk specific numbers, but it was a fair bit ago. Yeah, see, a lot of people use libraries like at school and then don't use them again. Go to your friggin' yeah, oh my god, please do let me know. Yeah. I forgot that happened. I forgot that was a thing that was happening. Yeah, see, that's the thing for a lot of people is like school kind of like forces you to read. So many people, and I'm actually one of these people technically, is like you read a lot when you're young and then you stop for ages and then you either get back into it or you don't. Honestly, I think anyone can get into it. I don't know. I think it is one of those hobbies that is like super easy to get into because it's not like a skill you have to develop. You don't need to like buy a bunch of supplies that you may not use and that kind of thing. Yeah, and that's the thing about school, right? Is that, I mean, not always, but most of the time they pick like the most boring books ever. Like and like some of the classics are good, right? But they never pick the good ones. They never pick like, I don't know, I really want to read like Picture of Dorian Gray and that kind of stuff. They never pick that. It's always like Of Mice and Men and Shakespeare. Like I'm not going to diss Shakespeare too much, but like, come on, you know? And I mean, it's because to be fair, when I did like A-level English literature, we did Othello, right? And I thought Othello was pretty interesting because it was quite ahead of its time with like the racial commentary and stuff. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And then there are other Shakespeare things yeah, I feel like I do agree with that. I feel like it's better to perform, even if you watch like the Romeo and Juliet movie, you know, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio in it. Yeah, I think school libraries and stuff, I think like required reading in classes definitely kills a lot of people's passion for reading, but like school libraries outside of the classroom environment where you can just like pick what you want, I think it was a lot of formative years for people, you know? And like, oh my god, did anyone do like the summer reading challenges? Any like UK gang? Like they do summer reading challenges at the local libraries during like the summer holidays, and I would do it every year. I wish there was something like that as an adult, but if I went and signed up for it, I'd be like such a little freak. But you got like a little medal if you read all the amount of books. Oh my god, I love it. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, oh hi Elliot, welcome in. I do also read very slow. I think a good way to, and I'm quite bad at this, I need to practice what I preach, building a routine is quite good. Like what I always do, and listen, sometimes I'm tired and I don't do it, but I always, when I get into bed, right, and I sit, you know, in bed, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read for however long, right, before I go to sleep. And I guarantee, like, if you say, like, oh, I'll just read for, like, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, like a really short time, or you just say, like, I'll read 1 chapter. If you give yourself a really small target, I guarantee you will do more than that target. Because, like, I'm always like, okay, I'll read 1 chapter. And then I get really into it, and I always end up reading, like, at least 2 or 3, you know? Depending on the book, of course, because, different chapter lengths and stuff. Books with long chapters, absolutely not. I can't remember which book it was. I think it was like The Secret History, maybe. There was a chapter that was like 100 pages long, and I was like, hell no, I'm never doing that. If a book has like even 1 ridiculously long chapter, I'm DNFing it. I am dropping it. It's not gonna happen. No, I'm not reading a chapter that long. It is not that serious. Oh yeah, Spectacles. Oh yeah, that one, that's pretty good. I have to say, Spectacles kind of slaps. I can't lie, it does kind of slap. Wuthering Heights. Oh yeah, we did Rebecca and Jane Eyre. See, I didn't like Rebecca much at the time, but I think, weirdly, I think if I read Rebecca now, I would appreciate it. It's still not really my genre, but I think I would have a lot more appreciation for it. Jane Eyre, I think I still wouldn't like it. I don't know. At least stuff actually happened in Rebecca, you know? Other than, oh my god, this posh man loves me. Oh yeah, the modern remake. Oh yeah. I'm catching up on chat. Bear with, everyone. Bear with. That's so... Schools that let you pick what to read are so based, honestly. Oh, you got Mouse as your assigned reading. Oh, that's pretty sick. I mean, because I've never read it, but I imagine, especially for like an English class, that would be a really interesting one to discuss. Yeah, there's a lot to say about it. I've been meaning to check it out. Yeah, to be fair, Elliot, I'm kind of like that too with books sometimes. It does depend on the book. You know what? I mean, I guess this wouldn't help for like digesting words, but like if you read slow because you like imagine the things in your head, reading non-fiction might help. Because I know a lot of people kind of go, ugh, at non-fiction, but if it's a topic that you're really interested in, non-fiction can actually slap. Like, I can't lie. I was one of those people that was like, oh, non-fiction. But if you find the right one about the right topic for you, there's some really good stuff out there. Maybe I should do an episode on that. I need to have a notebook here when I come up with ideas. Yo! Ant! Is it alright if I just call you Ant? I don't know. Does that feel a bit forward? Thank you so much for the raid. Yippee! Let me catch up. Yeah, see, fanfics and wiki dives, right? Listen, I don't judge, it's still reading because I also do wiki dives and I am also a fanfic enjoyer. But if you think about it, that's not that different from reading a book. You know? Like, if you've got like an ebook, for example, it would pretty much be, format-wise, it would be the same as reading a fanfic. You know? And I mean, published fan fiction is a thing. You know, the most famous one being 50 Shades of Grey, which, you know, we don't talk about that here. You know, there's a lot of books these days where people take fanfics and, like, just change the character names. There's a lot of Raylo ones for some reason. It's like a whole subgenre of fantasy romance, and it's so interesting. The 40 plus page. I feel like a 40 page chapter, especially if it's a prologue, I feel like that's not that bad. That's maybe like the maximum. But if a chapter is like 100 pages, absolutely not. Oh yeah. Oh, I can imagine it being a bit difficult if you're yeah, for like people that are dyslexic and stuff. Although there's a lot of like books that are printed now to be dyslexia friendly, which I think is cool. In fact, I think I could be wrong here, so like if my facts are wrong, I do apologize, but I'm fairly sure ebooks now I don't know if it's like an ebook thing or like an e-reader specific thing, have like dyslexia friendly modes. So honestly, I would recommend ebooks for that, or audiobooks, of course, because that just completely erases the problem. Oh, I don't know if she ripped off Rebecca to make Verity. I didn't read it. Verity, I mean, obviously I read Rebecca. I mean, I'm just reading. I'm just catching up. Biology books with bugs? Hell yeah. Are there like cool pictures in them? Because we love some diagrams in this house. Oh, let's see. Oh, there we go. I'm at the bottom of chat again. Hi, Matthew. Hello. I'm sorry that I'm not really acknowledging much chat stuff. And also, of course, the raids. Again, thank you very much for those. Please feel free to do some post-stream self-care. We're trying to do obviously like a bit of a podcasty format here. So I don't want to, you know, delve into tangents too much. But regardless, I do really appreciate it. So thank you, everyone. Also, for the non-subs and the non-turbo users, I am so sorry. I have to run 3 minutes of ads now. You will not miss much. I probably will not be talking about much at all. I'll try and wait until people are back from ads. But it supports the channel, so thank you so much. Also, there's no ads on YouTube, so you can go to YouTube if you like. But, you know, either or you can just come back in 3 minutes. I'm just gonna do the ad. It's fine. Thank you so much. Let me do my little ads command. There we go. I need to automate that somehow. Okay. Let me just check everything. Oh, I don't want to respond to people's messages if they're in ads right now, so I'll wait on that. In fact, let me just carry on a little bit with my book format tangent, because that doesn't matter too much. So I don't know, like in terms of, you know, physical books, ebooks, and audiobooks, which one I like the most. I think I would say I probably like audiobooks the least. And that is mostly because I use them the least. So, you know, it adds up. I don't know. And then I feel like physical books and Kindle books are kind of interchangeable to me, to be honest. I don't know. Oh, I can do like an automatic message with Seribot. Oh, that's actually really handy. I'll have to look into that. I literally got Seribot like a week ago. Maybe it was this week even. I got Seribot very, very recently. And I didn't know it could do that. So that's actually really handy. I will look into that actually. Yeah, because me having to do it manually is annoying. So I mean, it's not terrible, but if I can automate it, and that is a big help. Yes. Yes, thank you so much. Also, welcome in. I lose my tangents so easily. This is the danger of doing book talk, but you know, I'm doing my best. And actually, if I just waffle on about nothing for like 40 seconds, the people in ads are gonna come back anyway. Yo! Oh my god, I can do dad jokes! Hell yeah! Oh, I love that! Oh, hell yeah. That's actually a good one as well. I mainly got it just obviously because it's really good against like hate raids and follow bots and stuff, just for like extra security, because I have a very small mod team, and by that I mean I am the mod team. I mean, I have mods, it's just there. I don't expect them to commit to being here all the time, so the only person who I know is a mod that will always be here is me. So a lot of the time I have to do things by myself. So having that extra layer, you know. Oh my god. I love Seribot. Seribot, my beloved. All right. The Twitch gang that were in ads should be back now. So hello, welcome back. You really did not miss a lot. In fact, I can't even remember what I was talking about. We were talking about Seribot for a bit, to be honest. But what was I? I don't know. Yeah, we love mods here. We love them. Big love. Mwah, you know. Where was I at? Oh yeah, I can respond to messages now. I didn't want to respond to things when people were in ads. There we go. Herlock Sholmes, hell yeah. Herlock Sholmes, the best Ace Attorney character. I've never read Sherlock Holmes, actually. I'd quite like to. I'm intrigued. I wonder what it's like. Ah, bug books with like illustrations are so cool. Like I don't have any, but I've seen some before with like, especially when they look like sketches. Hell yeah. All right. So I'm gonna have a little sub discussion, right, about physical books. For those of you that do read physical books, or perhaps you know, have in the past, I'm very curious to know whether or not you have a preference between hardbacks and paperbacks. I feel like I have a feeling people prefer paperbacks generally, I would say. Yeah, no worries, Luck. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hardback, interesting. Why is that? I think for me, the pros of a hardback are obviously they come out quicker. So if there's a new book out that you're desperate to read immediately, then that's obviously a big pro. And also, they look nice on a shelf. They do look nice on a shelf, especially when it's a special edition, because there are some special edition paperbacks, but the majority of them are hardbacks, aren't they? That kind of thing. Other than that, like, I just don't think hardbacks are as comfy to read. You can't, I don't know. It feels a bit weird reading a hardback in bed. Yeah, that's another thing. That's a thing about the paperbacks, though. They do get folded. Although you can get like because what I do with my paperbacks when I bring them out with me is I have like a little pouch. I think they're called like book sleeves or whatever. It's like a little fabric pouch thing. My mum made mine for me, but you can get them on like Etsy and stuff, where you just put the book in it and you like button it up, zip it up, whatever, and then you put it in your bag and it just protects it from getting messed up in your bag. And I can be quite particular about the conditions of my books. Not as bad as I used to be, but that highly, if you read books out and about, or just in general, it's kind of good to have. Highly recommend. You can find some really pretty ones on Etsy, I bet. Oh, because they don't fall open on their own. You'd have to... see, I found a hack on like, I think it was YouTube Shorts, for like how to get a book to like completely open, like a paperback book, to completely open and be like floppy without breaking the spine, because that's another thing for the paperback gang. Do you break the spines? Because I, quite frankly, would rather die. Like, oh, I don't know what's worse between breaking the spine or like folding pages instead of using bookmarks. Hi Grant, hello, welcome in. No worries about the lurking. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, thank you. I am not about breaking the book spines. Yo! Thank you so much for the raise. Oh my god, everyone's coming in. Everyone's coming in. Hello. Oh, I hope your stream was good. How are you? I have, if you're wondering why all my notifications are silent, it's because I'm doing my little book themed podcast right now. And I try to keep my sound alerts silent so that I don't go on too many tangents. So I stay a bit focused and I just respond to these things in my own time. But luckily, you caught me at the end of a tangent, so you're good. Hello. Yeah, this bot is so good. It gives like customized like little messages about the people that raid you. It's so cool. It is very cool. What was I talking about? I can't remember. Anyway, again, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you're doing well. Please feel free to do some post-stream self-care. Yes, yes. And thank you for trusting me with your community. Yippee! Where was I at? We're talking about breaking book spines. Absolutely not. So, like, hang on. I wonder if I can find the video. Let's see. I want to see if I can find it. Is this it? Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is it. Okay, yeah, nice, yippee! Oh, no worries at all. I am gonna link this video. If I do it as a browser source, is it just gonna play the video straight up? I hope so. Oh, no, I don't want the audio on it though. Oh, I don't think you guys can hear that, so it's fine. Look. Wait, you, oh God. You know what? Let's get rid of it. Let's try again. Go away. Where did I go? What the heck? Oh, I'm not smart. I'm not very smart. Or I am, but not with like streaming technology. If I open Opera GX again, is it going to show it? Okay, let's do it this way. No! Can't break them. I mean, if you break them by accident, that's not as bad. There are some crazy people out there that break them on purpose. Hang on. Actually, can I make this full screen? No, that's fine. Look at this, right? Look at this. Do I have audio turned off? I'll turn off the audio because it was like obnoxious music and you don't really need it. Look at this, right? So I've only tried this on one book so far, but it works, everybody. It works. Oh, it's taking you like press the cover pages down like lightly so that it's like flat, and then you like pinch groups of pages at a time and you just keep doing it until you get to the middle, and then I don't know if it like loosens the glue or whatever. I don't know the science behind it, but the book is all floppy and like easier to open fully and read, but it doesn't ruin the spine like at all. Look at it. You can like open it completely and it like doesn't do anything. I don't know. Who figured this out? Who figured it out? Genius. I really like that. It is a method I learned recently. Oh no. Yeah, I guess you have to be careful with it. Maybe it's something you kind of get the hang of with time. But I've only done it with one book so far and it went well. So I like that for me. I love that. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like with hardback books these days, I typically only get them if they're special editions. If it's a series and I have like the first one in hardback, I'll get the second one in hardback too, so they like match. I already said special edition, right? Yeah. If it's like a special edition, if I need to match the series, or like it's a new release that I'm like desperate to read. Like if it's one where I know I'm gonna read it before it comes out in paperback. Saying this though, listen, there is so much shame in me that in the moments where I get a hardback of a book, right? And then after however many months, I go into like a bookshop and I see that book as a paperback and I'm like, I haven't read that yet and I still have it in hardback. Oh no. Especially because it takes so long for things to come out in paperback these days. It's just like the shame of like, oh no, what did I do? No. Talking about special editions, right? I want to show you the sick AF special editions that I ordered recently from Illumicrate. These are ones that came out a while ago, right? And I was like, I don't need them. I don't need them. It's fine. I'd only just gotten into this series at the time. So I was like, am I into it enough to get these? Probably not. And then I didn't get them. And they were in stock for a while. They didn't sell out for ages. And like, I was like, and I just didn't because it was a big investment, right? And then I got quite into the series, like a month or so after. And I was like, man, I really regret not getting those. But then Illumicrate the other day did like a leftover stock sale, which they do sometimes, because I guess they order more stock than what has been ordered just to account for like if things get damaged or go missing, etc. And then once they know the orders are all good, then they just do like a leftover sale. And I was like, I'll try, but normally those are like really limited and it's probably gonna sell out like immediately. So I'm not getting my hopes up on getting them, but I will try my best. They sold out in like, I'm pretty sure they sold out in like 2 minutes. It was something ridiculous, but I got them. And I need you to, I know some people will go nuts for these. So I feel the need to flex. Ignore that. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Hang on, let me, oh, no, I want to crop it. I want to crop it, everyone. There you go. Look at that. Percy Jackson. Special editions. Let me put it behind my model real quick. There we go. Look at these bad boys. Oh my God. Look at them. Oh my God, they're beautiful. Stunning. Sensational. Are they signed as well? I think they're signed. Let me check. Are all of them signed or is it? Oh, they're digitally signed. Yeah, special editions have started doing that recently and I'm like, don't know how to feel, but I do have like a physically signed Percy Jackson book also. Like the newest one, I have that signed, so that's cool. Look at them, they're so beautiful. Let me zoom in a bit closer so you can see like each individual one. Look, they're so colourful. The spines, I can't decide if I'm going to display these like with the sprayed edge facing out or the spine facing out, because they honestly look so good. I haven't even read all of them yet. I need to get back into that because I only got into Percy Jackson for the first time ever. I think it was at the end of last year. They are gorgeous. Look at them. I think my copies of these are arriving tomorrow, in fact, and I'm very excited. And it's a good little motivator for the day because I'm getting an eye test and like nothing wrong with an eye test. It's just I can't be bothered. I'll show you some more pictures of what these look like if you want. Hang on. Have I got a good picture of the sprayed edges, perhaps? Oh yeah, here we go. Here's a picture of what they look like IRL, which is quite nice. Let me might have to uncrop it. Oh, why is it on Reddit? Why is it showing up twice? Why has it shown up twice? Hello? I'm not very good at technology. Why? I clicked copy image address and it's coming up with the Reddit page. Reddit jumps. The Reddit jump scare. Hang on. Copy image address. Huh? Oh, whatever. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Hang on. Give me a moment, everyone. Give me a moment. Why did it show up? I don't know anything about this. Okay. Wait. I can't get rid of that, can I? Oh, I hate Reddit. Anyway, let's try again. Let's try again. Let's get a different one. Let's get a different image and try again. All right. That'll do, hopefully. Let me try again. Sorry for the Reddit jump scare, everyone. Terrifying. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me... Oops. Look at this, right? It's not the best picture, but it does the job. Look at these sprayed edges, everyone. It's like the map of the camp. Look at that. They all fit together. When you put them all together, it makes this. It looks so sick. Oh God, I hit my mic. I'm so sorry. It looks so sick. And they have like really nice foiled naked hardbacks also. But I can't find a good picture of those for some reason. All the pictures I find of them are kind of grainy. So the last picture I'll show you. Oh, this is off Reddit as well. I was gonna show you a picture of the spines. Oh, this is a better one. Hang on. Here we go. Look at it. Oh my God. I can't believe that I'm gonna own these books tomorrow. Because like, they sold secondhand for like a pretty penny. Otherwise I would have bought them secondhand, but I was like, I ain't paying that. Look at these. I mean, they were still spenny, but still. Look at those spines, man. Look at them. Oh, beautiful. Sensational. Stunning. Oh my God. I am going to scream. Look at them. Oh my God. Love it. I absolutely love it, everyone. I don't really have space on my bookshelves at the moment though. They're kind of at capacity. But I can probably shuffle stuff around. It's fine. I always figure it out, everyone. It's fine. Anyway, let's get rid of those. Oh, please don't. That makes me want to. I'm just kidding. I won't, I promise. I promise. But yeah, special editions and stuff are like always hardbacks, right? And they look good as hardback. Hardbacks look so nice on the shelf, but I just feel like practicality wise, I prefer paperbacks to just like read in bed or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I like them both for different reasons. It's really difficult to just pick one for definite. Yeah, see, I still live at home. I only have space for one IKEA Billy bookshelf. So I make do with what I have for sure. But it is occasionally a struggle. But I figured it out. I've got like a few little shelf things that like extend my space a little bit, but even those are getting full. So I may have to unhaul some stuff, but it's all right. Yes, it's due a culling, I think. That's so valid. That's so valid. So this is actually quite a good tangent because, you know, physical books, especially if you build up your own collection instead of going to the library, which you should do. You should go to your library. You know, space becomes a problem, especially if you are like me and you have limited space. So you have to be very selective, you know. You know what you don't have to be selective with? A Kindle. That is the big thing that I love about ebooks. And I'm gonna refer to things as like, when I say reading on my Kindle, I mean like reading ebooks in general. It's just easier to say it that way. So you can read them on like your phone or whatever. But like on my Kindle, so much easier because I just have loads of books on there and they take up the space of like not even one book, which is great. I like having physical books. I think physical books are nice, and like physically holding one when you read it is great. But not every book I want to read has to be one I own physically. Especially with like the Kindle 99p deals and stuff. It's really good for like when I'm interested in a book, but I'm not interested enough or like certain enough that I'll like it to commit to buying a physical copy, you know? So it's really good for that. Also, I get a lot of like digital review copies from NetGalley, which also is helpful because you can like send them directly to your Kindle, which is great because I used to read them on my phone and I just couldn't do it because I hated it. And so it's really convenient for that. It's also very convenient for traveling. Like, for example, I'm going abroad on a trip next month and I don't have to worry about like the size or weight of bringing books with me that I want to read while I'm on my trip. I just bring my Kindle. Unless there's something I'm like desperate to read that I own physically, I could bring something. But like, I'm probably just gonna bring my Kindle, to be honest. I'm pumped. I'm very excited. So it's very convenient for traveling. Also, like if you're going away, even if it's like just local, if you're just going away for like a weekend or something and you want to bring books, but obviously you can't bring like your whole collection, but you like can't decide what to read. Because especially if you're like me, right, and you're a bit of a mood reader, like sometimes if you just pick one book, what if you're not in the mood for that? Whereas with a Kindle, you have a big selection to choose from potentially. So that is another benefit of it, definitely. I have like a arm like stand thing that goes next to my bed and a little page clicker, so I can like cuddle up in bed and just read on my Kindle completely like hands-free, which is something I discovered in the past few months or so, and that has been a game changer. I love it. Oh yeah, I love it so much. It is the comfiest thing in the world. It is incredible, and that is partially why I haven't read very many physical books recently. Because I mainly read in bed now, like before I go to sleep, and it's just easier to do it that way. I need to set aside different types of reading time so that I actually read some of my physical books. I need to have like in bed comfy reading time, and then like downstairs on the sofa, still comfy, but in a different way reading time, you know? It's just harder to put aside time for that because, you know, I get into bed every day. So I can just associate it with that. Whereas like, if I want to specifically go downstairs and sit in the living room and read, I have to dedicate a specific time to that, you know? But I really should, even if it's just for like 1 or 2 days a week. On days where I'm like not working or like I'm working from home or whatever. I really should do that. Maybe I'll try soon. Yeah, maybe I can try that very soon. So I guess that's a drawback. That if you get comfy with it, you may never read physical books again. I quite like having a physical book, especially if it's a really pretty one. What other drawbacks would there be for a Kindle? Or like ebooks. I guess like if you really want to read on an e-reader, which I would probably recommend. Just because I don't like reading on my phone, but some people probably could, right? And like it's just a personal preference. But like if you are like me and like cannot read ebooks not on an e-reader, it can be quite expensive to get into, you know. It's so weird because I read fanfics on my phone sometimes and it's fine. But if I was to read I say actual book, like fanfiction is not reading, but like if I was to read like a regularly published book on my phone, I think I would throw up. Like, I tried it once and I hated it. It was a foul experience. Yeah, it's not like, you know, maybe it works for some people, but it's not for me. I'm not into it personally. I guess some people can read on their iPad, which I still wouldn't like, because what I really like about Kindles, it's not a thing on the older ones, but it is on the newer ones, is like the lack of a backlight on the screen. Because part of the reason I read is because it's like the one hobby I have left that does not involve looking at a screen, all right? I don't want to look at a screen. That's why I was very against e-readers for a while. I was like, I don't want to look at more screens, okay? But then they released ones where you can like turn off the backlight of the screen and it doesn't even feel like you're looking at a screen. It feels like you're looking at a incredibly flat book. Yeah, exactly. It's really interesting. But like if I read fanfic, it's fine. I can read that on a phone. I think maybe it's because like I don't know about my reading habits, but I tend to read fanfics in like shorter bursts. So maybe looking at my screen for that isn't as bad. I don't know, it depends. It's all very situational, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one for sure. Right, give me a sec. There we go. So I'm going to transition into talking about audiobooks. The first thing I used audiobooks for was to listen to in bed as I was like about to go to sleep. I would like, because I know you said this earlier, Olivia, and I agree. I feel like if you're just not doing anything when you listen to an audiobook, it's so easy to get distracted. And I completely agree with that. The only situation in which I don't is when I am laying in bed, like not on my phone or so. Like I have my eyes shut and it's dark and it's, you know, all for the immersion. And like it just helps me not look at a screen for a bit so I get a bit more sleepy before I actually try to sleep. I don't do that anymore. I don't know, I'm not as into audiobooks anymore. I don't know, it's just not for me. Some things I think work really well as audiobooks. For example, I love listening to audiobooks of people's autobiographies because normally it is the person that wrote it, like narrating it. So it is literally like you're listening to someone talk about their life, and that I love. I think that is great. That makes audiobooks really good in my opinion. Standard like fiction ones, it depends. Like I read Fourth Wing and I listened to it as an audiobook, and I started Iron Flame as an audiobook because I was like, well, I listened to Fourth Wing, I might as well do it the same way. I don't know, I just can't get into audiobooks anymore. I think I'm gonna have to read it physically, but then if I do that, I feel like I'm gonna have to read Fourth Wing physically, even though I've already read it technically, just because I feel like even though I'm digesting the same stuff, if I was to listen to it as an audiobook and then read it, I'm like digesting it in a different way. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Oh, I can imagine they're good for driving. They're quite good for commutes as well. I did used to listen to a lot of audiobooks on my commutes. I don't anymore because my commutes aren't as long. But yeah, pretty good for that also. I do agree. Yeah. Yeah, I really want to get into the Doctor Who, like the Big Finish stuff. I've been really intrigued by it for a long time, but I never know like where to start because there's so much. There's so many of them. I am really interested in those. For sure. And yeah, full-on audio experience. Yeah. I listened to a thing like that. It was they did like a new Audible version, like a drama of 1984. and it had like Andrew Garfield in it and some other people. I listened to that, and that was like a full-on like audio drama and not just like someone narrating the book. Those I think are really cool and make listening to an audiobook like a really unique experience. So stuff like that I think is really cool, like dramatized ones. I know that in fact I think Fourth Wing has one now where it's like there's an audiobook where it's like just someone narrating the book, and then there's like dramatized ones with like you know, immersive sounds and things like that. I think Fourth Wing has one. I'm pretty sure Akatar has one. I can't remember. I've seen a few of them kicking about and they look cool. There's just never been one for like that I've been interested in, apart from the 1984 one. But yeah, I don't know. Audiobooks kind of hit or miss for me. I haven't tried one in a while though. But what I would say, and I mentioned this earlier, I mentioned this at the start of the episode, right? If you are unsure, this is how I got into audiobooks, right? Because I was unsure for a long time whether or not I would be able to get into them, right? But the reason I tried them in the first place is because Spotify introduced a thing where like if you have Spotify Premium, you can listen to audiobooks. It's limited, it's like 15 hours a month or something. But it was one of those situations where I was like, I have Spotify Premium anyway, I might as well try it, you know, see if I like it or not. So if you're unsure as to whether or not audiobooks are for you and you happen to have a Spotify Premium thing anyway, then that's a good way of trying it out without like committing to something like Audible. Because I know like you can buy some audiobooks separately without like subscribing to anything, but it can be quite expensive. I don't know why. But also remember, and again, I mentioned this earlier, but I'll say again for anyone that wasn't here, a lot of libraries now do ebooks and audiobooks, okay? There's an app called Libby. I don't know if they all do it through Libby, but that's what the ones near me do. You can get a lot of ebooks and audiobooks for your library now, which is really cool. So that's another way of trying it without like commitment, you know? And also don't think like, oh, I have a tiny little library in the middle of nowhere. They probably won't. I have tiny little libraries in the middle of nowhere and they have them still. So, and it's like a limited selection, but they still have a good amount. So it is always worth checking because you never know. I recommend that if you're not sure. And if you're not sure about reading in general, even for like physical books, again, you can use your library. And actually a good thing about that is that it sets a deadline for you to try reading the book by also. So yeah, big advocate for libraries. I really should use them more often instead of buying books. But I do use them a little bit. I do mainly use them for ebooks, to be honest. At least right now. That might change in the future. Yeah. So, like, when I first wanted to do this as like a topic for book talk, my thing was going to be, I'm going to find out which reading format is the best. But I don't think one of them is the best. I think that they all have an equal amount of pros and cons. And I think that they are fairly even. I think it's just a very different experience. And it's definitely a personal preference thing. Like they're all good in different situations, like I've kind of talked about. Especially like audiobooks, you can listen to them like when you're commuting or when you're driving or when you're in bed trying to sleep. Ebooks are very good for traveling and convenience and for getting real comfy in bed. Yippee! Physical books, I mean, are just generally very nice. They're good all-rounders, I would say, instead of being good for specific situations, but are probably the best doing comfy reading at home on the sofa. Probably, I would say. So they're all good in different ways. And yeah, I think it's definitely a personal preference thing. I think if I had to rank them for my own personal preference, just for like me, right? This isn't necessarily going to be the same for everyone. And this may change also. I would say that ebooks would be at the top for me. Physical books would be in the middle, but would not be far behind ebooks. They'd be like nearly equal. And then I would put audiobooks last, just because that's purely right now based on how much I'm using each one currently. If I start reading more physical books, that will probably change. You know, it's just, I know that audiobooks are always going to be last for me. Not because I dislike them or anything. It's just, I feel like I use them for very specific scenarios, but I know some people that like exclusively read through audiobooks. So it's, you know, it's a very different experience for everyone. And I want to make it very clear also that we do not judge anyone for the formats they use, because I know there'll be some people out there that say things, for example, that like audiobooks, it's not real reading, like you didn't actually read it. We don't say that here, all right? That's not true. Okay, you did read that book. Reading is reading. That is the phrase that I always use, because, you know, listen, I don't like unironically judge anyone's like reading tastes or preferences or anything like that. You know, there are times where I'm giving people the side eye a little bit, but it's all in jest, you know, it's all jokes. It's not like genuine like you know. Like when I'm like, oh, you guys read Colleen Hoover, oh, it's not like a genuine judgment. It, you know, it's just it's jokes. I don't actually judge, you know, because at the end of the day, reading is reading, you know. And again, I encourage reading as a hobby. So if people are reading, then, you know, I think reading has increased a lot, like post-pandemic, because like, I don't know, it's just blown up. Book Talk, obviously massive. But like there was a point when people thought that the book industry was kind of like dying. And I think Book Talk was definitely a big factor in keeping it alive. So even though a lot of the stereotypical Book Talk books aren't very good, but they're not. But, you know, there is some respect in the sense that it has brought the book industry back a bit, and it's gotten a lot of people into reading that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. So, you know, I respect it for that. When it's cohort's genuine judgment, just a little bit, just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, is this a safe space? This is a safe space, right, everyone? Ooh. Oh, that's cool, Elliot. I like that. Hell yeah. Oh. So is it like a specific series? Which one is it? Or is it like a different one every year? I'm trying to see if I'm interpreting this right. Oh. Very nice. Another like fun way to kind of motivate yourself to read is like there's a lot of like reading challenges and stuff. You can find like a bunch online, especially on YouTube, where they'll give you like specific prompts and stuff like I don't know, like read a book with this theme, or like read a book with this word in the title, or whatever. Like, because for me, because I have such a big book collection, I do get a bit of choice paralysis sometimes when I'm in, you know, when I need to find a new one to start. So because of that, I'm like, oh God, I don't know what to do. But that kind of makes you pick one. And then it's like, oh, but then there's also like other reading challenges that like give you a bit more structure, I guess. Like if you want to start and you have literally no idea how to start, that kind of helps you get a bit more of a specific direction. So I do recommend that a lot. Maybe I should find some and do like a little recommended list for people. Yeah, TikTok section in bookshops. Yeah, or I can't lie, guys, I have mixed feelings on it. I do have mixed feelings on it. I'm like, I don't know. Mixed feeling. Because again, if it gets people in bookshops, that is a good thing. I think having like a TikTok table, that's fine. But like Olivia said there, having like TikTok sensation on the cover of books, it's less bad when it's like a removable sticker. But removable stickers are quite rare on books now. Like when I see a sticker on a book, I am genuinely impressed when it's removable. I'm like, damn, they had budget. The thing is though, as someone that, you know, has worked in a bookshop in the past, unfortunately, those things, those little stickers they do that you can't remove, they do often help sell books, as do film covers, even though they're hideous. It's terrible. It is an evil that we must accept sometimes. Ugh. Blech. But yeah, seeing like the phrase TikTok sensation on a book, like, ugh. Like, I feel like if they have to do that, put it on the blurb. Put it on the back, I feel. I don't know. Because I feel like if you put it on the front especially, I feel like in a few years, it's gonna age really badly. I don't know. What do I know? I'm not in the publishing industry, everyone. Oh, Children of Time. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah. See, don't worry, everyone. You know, if you ever want to tell me about a book series or a book that you're reading, but you're worried that I won't know it, you know, especially if it's like fantasy or sci-fi or like young adult, there is a very high chance of me knowing it. Even if I haven't read it. If it's like quite a current one, if it's one that's commonly in bookshops quite a lot, I will have seen it because I used to work in one. And our sci-fi fantasy young adult section was pretty big. So yeah, I know there are so many book series and titles I know just through like pure osmosis. And also ones I've heard from like watching people on YouTube and stuff. Yeah, oh, the big sticker on City of Bones, I do remember that. It was like a big like oval one, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, I feel like I have very, very mixed feelings on book talk, and I wonder if this is something I can expand on and give like a full episode on someday. Because I feel like people give book talk a bad rep, or at the very least, a worse rep than it deserves, you know? Because again, I think it got a lot of people into reading, and like, there are good books being talked about on book talk sometimes. I feel like there's two kind of sides to book talk almost. You get like, you know, the Colleen Hoover enjoyers, you know, and adjacent, right? You get all the like trashy romanticy enjoyers and all of that, which again, you know, reading is reading, remember? But then you get like the other half where it's like people talking about, you know, books that aren't just popular on book talk, but TikTok sensation, you know? I don't know. There's just such a broad variety of stuff on there, you know? Like, I found a lot of like legit, really good recommendations through like TikTok and YouTube. There, you know, sometimes you've got to dig for them. I will admit, sometimes you do have to dig for them, but they are there. They are there. You just have to look sometimes. Sentient giant jumping spiders in Children of Time. Oh my god. That sounds horrific. That sounds absolutely horrific. See, I want to read more sci-fi. I want to read more sci-fi because I don't know. I've just never gone into it. I am very much fantasy leaning. But I know a lot of people really like sci-fi, and there's a lot of series that are like classics, you know? And you know, I might not like them. Maybe I won't like them, but I at least want to give some a try. You know? I wanna diversify my reading a little bit, like genre-wise, you know? Yeah, for sure. Ugh. I'm gonna have another drink real quick because hydration is very important, everyone. Excuse me. You know? Yeah, I'm trying to think, have I ever read any sci-fi? I must have done. I must have read at least something, but I genuinely can't remember. Oh, War of the Worlds. Oh yeah. See, I haven't read it, but I know of like the musical and also like the Tom Cruise movie. But I've never read the book. The musical. Can we talk about this real quick? I know it's not, you know, this is book talk, but can we have a brief sidetrack and say that the War of the Worlds musical slaps? Oh my god, the War of the Worlds, oh my god, the music's so good. It's so good, man. It absolutely slaps. There are some tunes there. Oh, you know, like the main one. If you know, you know. I can't remember the name of it, but like the main song in the War of the Worlds musical with like all the violins and whatever. So good. Absolute tunes. Yeah, it's a fairly old musical, I believe. Let me have a look. It's like there are like professional recordings of like the stage version. There's quite a few. And it is very cool. When did it start? Let me have a look. Oh, it started in like the 70s. I think, if I remember correctly, I might be wrong on this, by the way. I think it was like a concept album at first, and then they like made it into like an actual stage production. There are like professional recordings of it. It's very cool. They've had a lot of good people in it over the years too. It's not one that's like regularly on in like a theatre, but it's gone on tour a few times in like arenas and stuff. And yeah, they've had some cool people in it over the years. Yeah. It's pretty sick. So I want to check out the book. It's just something I've never thought about, but yeah, maybe, because if I remember correctly, I don't think it's super long. Let me have a look. I don't think the book is that long, and I do quite enjoy a short book. That's another thing, right, that makes books quite accessible, right? If you're feeling really like overwhelmed and like it's a bit daunting to start a book, I have been there and I understand, but you just want to read something, find a short book, right? Because you will get that feeling, like that satisfying feeling of finishing a book so much quicker. And once you've had that feeling once, it will be easier to like start that cycle again, you know? Yeah, it's like 200 pages, 200-page books. I love, because like I'm not that into novellas because I feel like a lot of them are just too short for me to really get invested. I feel like 200 pages ish is quite a good sweet spot though. It's just enough for me to snack on, you know, juicy morsel. I don't know. We should, I mean, this is probably a more like end of the year thing. We should do a stream just going through like all of my reading stats, because Storygraph has some really like detailed stats, like how long of books you typically read, what genres you typically read, and stuff like that. And I think that'd be quite fun to analyze for sure. Absolutely. Oh, dearie me. Right. You know, the question I proposed for this episode was, what is the best way to read, right? And honestly, any way to read is the best way. Because as I said, everyone, reading is reading. We need to make that like a catchphrase, you know? Make like a sticker that just says reading is reading. Out of context, everyone's gonna be like, well, duh, obviously. My wisdom. That's my wisdom that I will impart on you all today. Maybe the best way to read is the friends you made along the way. Honestly, kind of true. That's another thing. That's another way, a really good way to like get into reading and like motivate yourself to read if you're in like a reading slump, whatever. Do like a buddy read. So it's like where you and your friend read like the same book. Not necessarily like together at the same times, but you're like, right, we're gonna read this book. And when we both get to like certain points in it, we can talk about it. When we both finish it, we can talk about it. And that kind of thing. Because then you're like sharing the experience with someone. Because nothing is worse than when you develop a new hyperfixation, but none of your friends are into the hyperfixation. So you can't like fully reach your yapping potential, right? Because I still yap about my hyperfixations to my friends that aren't necessarily into it. The problem is you can only go so far with the yapping because you don't want to give spoilers, right? And you also, you know, there's a level of understanding with some things that you won't get unless you're like into it also, you know? Whereas if you have a buddy read, it's a good thing to do, you know. You can yap at each other. Oh, I would love to see. You should send me screenshots of the best comments of the highlights. Yeah. Oh, because especially for that book series. Oh, sorry, I had something in my eye just then. I can imagine it being very unhinged. Because, like, here's the thing, right, with Fourth Wing and, like, Iron Flame and whatever, even though I've only read some of Iron Flame, I enjoyed it for what it was, right? But there are specific parts in the writing where I'm like, it's a bit cringe. There are certain sentences and phrases in that book where I'm like, it's a wee bit cringe, isn't it? It's a little bit cringe, you know. But it's quite funny in that way. Yeah, I need to give them another try because I feel like I need to read them physically now that I'm not really into audiobooks. Yeah. Yeah. See, like there are some like situations where I've read something with someone, or I've watched something with someone, and it's just like it wouldn't have been the same on my own. Like when the Game of Thrones finale came out, I watched it live with a bunch of my uni friends, and obviously, you know, the Game of Thrones finale was really bad, but I still have a really good experience of watching that because I had a really good time with my friends and we laughed about it and it was great banter, right? If I had watched that on my own, it just would have been really depressing. It would have been very depressing. But now, even though that finale is terrible and it just makes me very sad, I do also have good memories associated with it, for sure. It's just a really nice way to spend time with someone. It's to like share media with them, and especially with reading, because like with watching stuff you kind of have to figure out the same time to like watch it together. I mean, you don't have to, but it is better that way. Whereas with reading, you don't really have to do that, which is quite nice. Because, you know, we all have busy schedules, and especially when you're older, you know, maintaining adult friendships is very difficult, especially when you don't necessarily live like physically near each other. So, you know, it's a good way to keep in touch with people. You know, it's a nice little activity. Oh yeah, I've never watched The Shining. See, I've never been interested in reading Stephen King, and I kind of stand by it. I can't lie. I'm not bothered. I'm honestly just not bothered. I I don't remember specifically. I wonder if I can check. I am not very far in at all in Iron Flame. Let's see if I can find out. Wait, do I must have it on my Goodreads. Where is it? Where did it go? What? Can I not see like my editing history? Hang on. I've started this search and now I must finish it. Oh, there we go. Oh, what? It's not telling me where I'm at. Oh, I found it. Oh, I'm like 10% into the audiobook. I'm very, very early. I think I need to give it another go. I think I need to reread Fourth Wing, like physically, and then I need to give Iron Flame, like I need to restart it, I think. Because I've generally heard also that Iron Flame's not as good, and considering that like I'm not a massive Fourth Wing enjoyer, I'm kind of worried that I'm gonna hate Iron Flame. Because like I like Fourth Wing, but in a way where it's like, it's fine. It's a lot of fun. It's fine. I had a good time. Would I say it's a good book? Jury's kind of out. I mean, I gave it 3 stars, right? Which to me, a solid 3-star rating is just me going like, it was fine. It was good. You know, it was okay. You know, that's like a slightly above average. So it's like, yeah, it was all right. Yeah, it's decent. I was into it enough to read more, you know, but there are things about it also that I'm not the biggest fan of. So I don't know. I'm like, it's all right. It's, again, I think I described it by saying you wouldn't go to McDonald's expecting a gourmet meal. But that doesn't mean the McDonald's is bad. I love a good McDonald's. It's just a very different experience. Also, I cannot believe we have been yapping for nearly another hour again. So unfortunately, the non-subs and the non-turbo users, I am gonna have to start another ad break. It's gonna be 3 minutes long, and it does support the channel. So thank you. I'll try not to yap about anything important while you're away. You'll be back before you know it. All right, there we go. Let me do my ad message again. I know I'll do like an automatic one eventually. I did not know that Seribot could do like automatic ad messages, and that's actually huge. I can't lie. That is huge. Very excited to look into that. Yep. Yes. In fact, I'm gonna have a very quick little hydration break. It feels like a good time to have one. You know, what if I just sit here in silence for 2.5 minutes? I'm sure that'd be fine. I'm sure everyone would love that. Ugh. Anyway. Playing Minecraft while listening to this? Hell yeah. I honestly, I watch so many things and listen to so many things while I'm playing Minecraft. Minecraft is such a good game for like just mindlessly playing it while you're like watching or listening to something. It is so true and so real. I also like listen to stuff while I'm playing Dead by Daylight sometimes. Not all the time. I never do when I'm playing Killer, because Killer relies quite heavily on like small subtle noises. But oh no, they're in ads, everyone. Oh no, they're in ads. Help. Fangy just raided me. Oh no, they're in ads. Oh no. Hi everyone. Hang on, give me a moment. Planning lessons, teacher life. Oh my god. Hello everyone. Oh my goodness. I think some of you might be in ads right now. I don't know. If you're not, can you tell the people in ads that I'm very sorry? Fangy, thank you so much for the raid. Yippee! Yeah, honestly, have fun at yoga. I love you. I hope you're doing good. I was there earlier. You were doing Minecraft. I was having a little peek. But yeah, hello everyone. I can have it delay ads during raids. The only problem is you guys came in during an ad break and I can't really stop it at that point. It's okay. It's got like 20 seconds left. We're fine. You came in like midway, so it's fine. But yes, to anyone, Mitula, hello. Hello, everyone. Also, hi, Beans. Hi, Tori. Hi, Abby. Mystery Otaku, hello. Also, I think that's everyone. And also all of the lurkers, hello. I love all of you, I guess. Yeah, I guess. What am I talking about? If you happen to not know me, hello. My name is Moog. I am an ice cream alien VTuber. And every now and then we do a little talky show podcasty thing here called Moog's Book Talk, where I talk about books because I like to read and I think that reading is a good hobby to have. This is the 3rd episode and we are discussing, well, we're kind of discussing, we've changed topics a lot, but the overall discussion is what is the best format to read. Is it physical books? Is it ebooks? Is it audiobooks? If you happen to be an individual that does read, let me know which one of those you like. Just let me know. Give me your opinions. If you read physical books, do you like paperbacks? Do you like hardbacks? Do you like both? Just let me know. Good book to sniff. Can't do that on digital. True. That's a good point that I haven't even considered in this discussion yet. Book sniffing. Yeah, oh, paper cuts, true. I don't get paper cuts a lot actually, but yeah, that is a problem when you do. Hate hardback. Yeah, we had a lot of mixed opinions on the hardbacks versus paperbacks discussion, which I actually wasn't expecting. But I kind of like both for different reasons. So I can't really pick one over the other. I don't want to seem like a fence sitter, but I do like both. I don't know. If I had to choose, I don't know. I like to read paperbacks, but hardbacks are nice to collect, you know? Like fancy hardback special editions bring me so much joy, and I don't think I could live without that. But paperbacks are definitely more practical, yes, and comfier to read. But ebooks are also very comfy, I've learned recently. See, just for context, I am having this discussion and I think I can give it quite a neutral, fair, balanced viewpoint because I genuinely do all three. And I like all three, and I can see the pros and cons to all of them. I don't do audiobooks as much as I used to. I still do a bit, you know? Hardbacks are lovely unless you want to read in the tub. I've never read in the bath, and I don't know if I would. I'm too scared. Although apparently, not that I've ever tried it, apparently my Kindle is waterproof. I'm never going to test that out though. Yeah, hardbacks feel really nice, don't they? And especially because like it takes so long for books to come out in paperback now. It takes like 9 months or like a year, right? So if there's like a new release that I really want to read, I have to get it in hardback. It's like, ugh. I don't know. Dust covered. Yeah, if I read a hardback, I typically take the dust jacket off and then I put it back on after. Because I get why dust jackets are a thing, and also, you know, dust jacket art, very, very pretty. But yeah, when you read them with them on, it is kind of impractical. So when I read, in the rare occasion that I do read a hardback, I do take the dust jacket off for sure. You can also get like book jackets that you can like, that are like fabric ones that you can like use to like put over a hardback with no dust cover on it. So it still like protects the book when you're reading it or like taking it out and about. Dunk the Kindle! No! Yeah, finding time to read can be tough sometimes. I usually read before I get into bed, but I said earlier that I need to dedicate some more reading time in my day-to-day life as well, because I mainly read my Kindle in bed because it's very comfy. I have like a hands-free setup now, so I can proper snuggle in bed and read. And also because I don't always read when I'm in bed, because sometimes I'm just too tired. So I need to have like a backup option that allows me to easily read physical books more. And also, if I read during the day, then it doesn't matter if I'm too tired at night, you know? Dust jackets get nasty at libraries. True. Although a lot of libraries, I don't know what it's like over there, but here they put like covers on them to, I mean, they still get kind of nasty, but it's prevented a little bit. Ah, yeah, that's true. I think if you were taking a hardback book out and about, I would recommend just taking the dust jacket off and leaving it at home, and then getting like a book jacket and then putting that on top just to keep the book nice. Or get like a book pouch. Yeah, I have one of each. They're very useful. I highly recommend. You can get like a lot of really nice ones on Etsy, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of cute ones these days. Yeah, if they're laminated, it's not as bad for sure. Yeah, I do agree with that, especially if you're into like special edition books, because a lot of them will have like alternate dust jacket art. Yeah, that's definitely more of like a display thing, which I can respect. I do have some books that are just like on my shelf to look pretty, I cannot lie. I have some books, like once I've sorted my bookshelf a bit more and I'm at a point where I'm like, this is gonna stay like this for a while and it looks nice this way, maybe I'll do like a bookshelf tour or something. But I have a bunch that like displayed with a sprayed edge like facing out, and it looks very cool. Ooh, that's, yeah, I don't really go to beaches now because beach holidays aren't really my thing, but that is actually very good. Although I'd probably just take my Kindle, to be fair. Yeah, that is true actually. That is a point I didn't think to bring up, and that is a good discussion point. There is the whole, you know, physical digital media things. You always have to keep in mind that, you know, digital media can get taken away from you by corporations at any point. However, it is a bit better with ebooks, because ebooks typically, I mean, it depends where you get them from, but typically when you buy them, you can also get like a download. They're not like 100% in the cloud. Like you can have them in the cloud, but you can also download them. So you can like back them up and stuff. So it's not as bad as like physical games, for example, which is quite nice. Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. There are some books that, oh, excuse me. There are some books that I read digitally and I really liked, and I got like a physical copy. I do recommend doing that. Because I don't know, I think it's better for like supporting authors to buy the physical copies, right? I don't know a lot about it. Yeah, I'm a Blu-ray girly personally. I'm just saying, I'm very fancy. I need to get physical movies and stuff again. I really want to build a collection of horror movies. Now that I'm getting into horror movies, I want to build like a collection. The only problem is they're spenny. It's hard to find them secondhand, because obviously a lot of secondhand things are DVDs, and like now that I've gotten to Blu-rays, I can't go back. Okay, I need HD. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm a Blu-ray girly. I don't know. I have to have it in HD, everyone. Oh, there are some really cool like horror movie box sets that have come out recently. They're very cool. Yeah, crusty DVDs of older stuff. That's true, you know. Do you guys remember the Shrek 2 DVD menu? That is so specific, but I really hope that someone knows what I'm talking about. In fact, I think I've talked about it on stream before, which again, very specific stream topic to talk about on stream twice. Yeah, here we are. Love it. Love it. Yeah, there is a whole discussion to have about like physical versus digital media for sure, because obviously I am a big advocate for physical media, but there's a lot of times where digital is a lot more accessible and a lot cheaper, which is unfortunate. Because like there are a lot of PC games, like PC gaming, you pretty much have to get digital. Like there's like very rarely physical copies of PC games, and if there are, it's like super fancy collector's editions once the game's already been out for a while and it's like, you know, popular enough or whatever, and they're like really expensive. Like just standard physical copies for PC games, pretty much unheard of these days. Yeah, exactly with like I mean, because like the thing is, right, you know, you have things like reading on a Kindle or like a different type of e-reader or whatever, but those, I'm pretty sure they've used like the same format and the same tech for like ever. Like they've upgraded them, but like it still at its core uses the same technology, which I think helps it last a lot longer. For sure. I think the reason they do that is probably because like a bunch of old people use them and they don't want to like have them complaining. Yeah, that's the thing about Blu-rays for sure. Ugh. Yeah, oh god, the lack of color grading and like just things being dark in like movies and TV shows now is awful. Like you literally just can't see anything and it's like, please. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? And like if they just sell the codes, a lot of the time it's just going to be at like retail price, and like, you know, unfortunately getting things on Steam or like equivalent places, it is often going to be cheaper, and in this day and age people really need those deals, man. Times are hard. Yeah. That's why another thing I really like about books is that like any of the formats of books are like easy to get into cheaply. Like obviously you can like buy books or audiobooks or ebooks or like a Kindle or whatever. But if you can't for whatever reason, or you're like on a limited budget and can only get a few, libraries. Use your library. I swear to God, people. Use your libraries. Please. You can just use a library for free. You can read books, physical books, and also sometimes ebooks and audiobooks. And you can do it for free, and you support your community. Use your damn libraries, people. Oh yeah, I've heard of Folio Society. They're quite spenny though, no? Let me have a look. Ooh, I'm looking at their June ones right now. They're pretty sick. Ooh, yeah, they do some nice ones. They're kind of spenny though. Ooh. See, one thing I really like about like other special edition places like Illumicrate and like Fairy Loot and stuff, they are pretty much the same price as like a standard hardback, or if they're more expensive, it's like a little bit more expensive. Although to be fair, I guess with these ones is that they're like super high quality, so it makes more sense. Yeah. They're like super deluxe, right? So I guess it makes more sense for sure. Yeah, I'm having a little browse here right now. The June ones are really cool because like some of them I feel like the designs just like aren't for me. Like I don't know, like the Lord of the Rings ones, I'm not really into Lord of the Rings anyway, but like the design, I don't really like minimalist designs when it comes to special editions. I like big like character illustrations and stuff. Like the June ones, the Song of Achilles one looks quite nice. The Game of Thrones ones look pretty sick. I can't lie. They look pretty cool. Oh, there's an Agatha Christie collection. Ooh, I've always wanted to get into Agatha Christie books, but the problem is that there's so many and I don't know where to start. I might have to do some research. I feel like maybe I do like an episode of this or even just like a separate YouTube video where I try and get into like Agatha Christie or like Sherlock Holmes or something where it's like a big series. Just something I've never read before or like something from like a specific author that I've never read before and just document the experience, you know? For definite. Oh, embroidered ones too? Yeah, I understand those being a bit spenny. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, they've got like a really cool like 1984 limited edition. It's £500. Oh my god. 500? What? Respectfully, why is it 500? Wait, let me have a look. What production details, right? Let's have a look. Limited to 750 hand-numbered copies. Okay, they'll drive the price up quite a lot for that. Limitation tip printed letterpress on arena smooth paper and signed by some people. Obviously not signed by George Orwell, but like signed by whoever. Oh yeah, signed by like the illustrator and whatnot that like designed this edition. Okay, I don't really understand the paper thing. This probably just means it's really fancy. Bound in metallic silver paper, screen printed in 3 colors with a design by the artist. Oh yeah, it kind of looks like TV static. I'm describing this even though you can't see it, but it's fine. 8 illustrations printed on tatami ivory paper. That sounds expensive. That definitely sounds expensive. Hang on. Have they got a picture? I need to see this. Oh. Oh, it comes in like a big fancy box also. I would love to see like an unboxing video of one of these though. Printed page edges, ribbon marker, some like funky looking end papers, presentation box, exclusive print, stickers and patch within a presentation folder. You know a book is fancy when it describes the fonts that the book is in. Are you kidding me? That's insane. That is, I know the people that are buying this book are in a different tax bracket to me. Listen, oh my god, it describes the fonts that the book is printed in. That's insane. That is a complete, even I don't think about stuff like that, and I'm pretty picky with my books. Even I don't think about stuff like that. So I think the main reason this is fancy is because it's like limited and like £500. I'd have to really like a book to spend that much. I don't think there are any books that I like that much to spend that much on. Like, I wouldn't even buy an edition of like The Poppy War for £500. I would not do that. And I freaking love The Poppy War, all right? I would not do it. First or third person? Ooh. That's an interesting one. I think we can probably end with that discussion, I would say. Let's wrap it up with that, because we have been yapping for a little bit. Which is good, because this has been a much better episode than the last one. The last one was so messy. First or third? I mean, I feel like I don't really mind either way. I don't know. It depends on the character though, because if it is a really annoying character talking in first person, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe it depends on the book or like the characters, like I said. Because I know some people really don't like one or the other, you know? I don't know. There was a book I read that I got in like a 99p Kindle deal. I can't even remember what it was called. It was some kind of like young adult murder mystery thing. That sounded vaguely interesting. But when I read it, it would change from first to third person, like constantly within the book. That I'm not a fan of. I am not a fan of like if you write a book, do it in either first or third person. Don't like constantly. I feel like if you do like third person and you do first person for like one chapter, but like a particular part where like it makes sense to do it, a bit more understandable. But like this book, from what I remember, was constantly changing, and I really don't like that. In fact, I know on Storygraph you can write like the reason that you DNF a book. I'm gonna see if I can, because it was a long time ago, and I want to see if I can find it, because I remember it was written in such a bizarre way, and I want to make sure that that's what it was. It was some kind of thing with the formatting. It was very strange. See, I feel like if it changes mid-series, that's not as bad, because they're at least separate books, you know? But if you change it a lot like within the book, I don't know, kind of an ick. I guess like when it's one character in one and one character in the other, at least it's kind of consistent in that regard. I don't know. Right, let me look on my phone. Let's see if I can find the explanation on there. What did I write? Also, I can find out. Oh yeah, it's called Suddenly a Murder, right? And it sounded really interesting. And what did I write? Oh yeah, I was immediately put off by the mix of third person and first person. Yeah, it kept like changing, and it made it like really, especially because there's multiple characters in that book, it made it really confusing, like whose perspective I was reading from and like who was being talked about in specific sentences. Yeah, it just, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna switch, or if you're going to switch that often, like you said, if you switch like once, but if you're going to switch that often, you really have to have a reason for doing it. You really have to justify it, at least in my opinion. But overall, if I had to pick one, if I could only have one, I think I would pick third person. Because like, if the character is annoying, then like, third person, not as bad. But if the character is annoying and you're constantly reading their really annoying thoughts in first person, not for me. But I don't really mind either. Like, I'm not gonna pick whether or not I read a book or whether or not I continue with a book based on what kind of perspective it's written in. That kind of, it doesn't really affect my reading choices. But if I had to pick one, I would probably pick third person. Yeah. I think that's my preference. Yeah. That's an interesting one. I've never like considered that, to be honest. Yeah. I'm just having a look at something real quick. Bear with me. There we go. All right. Oh, what a day, eh? Oh my god. Yeah, I think it depends on the context. Yeah. What type of book it is, what type of story it is, and like the characters, for sure. Yeah. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are some books I could think of where, even though I might not have like a specific explanation for it, maybe I would look at one for example, that's written in like third person and think like this book could not be written in first person, or like the other way around. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. That's fair. I mean, everyone has different preferences for sure. For definite. I'm gonna check one thing real quick. Excellent. Second person. I don't think I would like reading books in second person. I think like what I said about like constantly switching perspectives, like in terms of like first person, third person, whatever. I think if a book is to be written in second person, it definitely has to justify it. There definitely has to be like a reason, right? Because that just feels weird. Like it kind of just reminds me of like reader insert fan fiction. And I'm over that phase in my life, all right? I am over that. And obviously, like, you know, there's things like choose your own adventure books. That obviously makes sense for it to be second person. I don't know. I think if there's not a reason for it, it kind of gives me the ick. I don't know. But I've heard that like later on in like the Locked Tomb series, which is like Gideon the Ninth and stuff, I haven't read further on yet, but I've heard that further on part of it is in second person, and I'm like, ooh, I really like this series, but that scares me a little bit. I'm gonna have to trust it. Yeah, choose your own adventure, but like Goosebumps and stuff, so good. So like, I wish there were more of those for like adults. Although I guess adults could just like also read Goosebumps. I suppose. Yeah, they were fun, right? Very fun. It's like old school video games. I guess. Video games before video games were a thing. I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. Visual novels. Oh my god. I keep saying, you know what? I think this has been mentioned every episode. I don't know if it has or not. I am absolutely, at some point, it's probably going to be a bit later down the line, but I absolutely will be doing an episode on visual novels, because that is like such an interesting topic when it comes to reading to me. Like, because it's like, is it a visual novel? Is it a game? Like, is it reading? Is it a game? Like, does Ace Attorney count as a visual novel? See that? I don't know, because I feel like it has a lot more interactive elements than the average visual novel. But I feel like I don't have enough visual novel experience to really call it either way. Like, I wouldn't say Danganronpa is a visual novel, because like it has a lot of like dialogue and stuff, but again, there's a lot of like interactive elements still, you know? Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, like you choose between things, but typically there's not like mechanics in terms of like doing stuff, you know? See, this is definitely a discussion that I want to like have as a full episode once I'm a bit more confident in my yapping. All right. Once I'm a bit more confident, that's definitely one that I want to do like a full episode on. Plus, I think I should play some VNs, because I have played some VNs, but it's been a very long time. I feel like I need to do some to like jog my memory of what the experience is like. Yeah, also, I mean, I don't necessarily know if it would be defined by like having multiple routes, because I think like, I guess Umineko technically has multiple endings, but like, I don't know. Oh god, a visual novel episode, I cannot lie to you all, it would just be an excuse for me to info dump about Umineko, okay? I'm being completely serious right now. I will info dump about Umineko for like 3 hours and you will hear it. You will listen to me. I love Umineko. If Umineko have 0 fans, I am dead. I love Umineko. Oh my god. Every time I meet someone else who likes Umineko, I'm so happy. Because it's not like super obscure as an interest, but it's also not the most common. It used to be super obscure, but now it's less so, which is quite nice. I think it coming out on Steam really helped. I was in the trenches at the time where like the anime was like the only content of it you could get unless you like lived in Japan. So it's like, oh, all right. I think this might actually be the longest book talk episode yet, which is great because I have been very worried about not being able to yap because I'm on my own here. I've got no game to rely on. And like, I always yap about books and I'm like, do people actually want to talk about books with me? Or do people just not like care that much? So I appreciate you all being here and chatting with me. Thank you very much. Yeah, see, 2.5 hours is like standard kind of stream time for me. But when it's like just chatting like this, it's very difficult. And it's something I want to improve at, but like, I don't want to big myself up, but I'm quite proud of myself. Yeah, yippee! So, yeah, thank you all. I'm gonna say that this is like my passion project. Like, the rest of my VTuber stuff is stuff I force myself to do. It's not, but like, you know, there's a lot of things I do as a VTuber that I know are like precedented in the sense that they are, you know, things that VTubers commonly do and are popular, you know? Whereas this was the thing where I was like, I do not care. I want to do this, you know? Because I'd never seen VTubers talk about books before, not much. And it was something I really wanted to do. It's helped me get into reading a lot more and like just discuss what I've been reading a lot more. Also, because like normally I kind of just read and then I'm like, well, that's a book I've read, that's it. This is helping me discuss it a little bit more, like think a little bit more about the books I've been reading. Yeah, which is very cool. Yeah, guest episodes are definitely going to be a thing at some point. I haven't figured out the specifics of it yet, but it is definitely going to be a thing. I just wanted to do some solo ones first, just because I wanted to sort out the format and I wanted to iron out any issues, and I just wanted to get a bit more confident in being able to do this, you know, just chatting, talk showy podcast style. Because I knew if I did guest episodes immediately that they'd be a bit shit. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to bring people on and like, you know, take up their valuable time just for like a podcast episode that like low-key sucks, you know? Oh my god. We'll see. I'm thinking I'm either at the point where I'm ready to have guests or it's gonna be soon, you know? We'll see. I said at the start that, like at the start of Book Talk in general, that I was gonna try and average like 1 episode per month, but then I stopped like planning things in terms of like, oh, okay, it's this month, where's the episode gonna be? And I kind of just started like, I knew when I felt a vibe that there was going to be a book talk in that particular week. I was like, okay, this week feels like a vibe where I'm going to have a book talk episode. And like, I looked at the dates where I did them and it has been roughly about once a month. Again, roughly, without even like properly planning it, which is great. I love that for me. I would do it more often. It's just I have limited stream slots and I have so many things I want to do with my streaming. I think if I had 4 days a week, like consistently, I would be able to do it more often. But when I do 3 days a week just to like leave a 4th potential one open for like collabs and stuff. I think if I did 4 days a week, like just for my solo, like regular scheduled streams, I would end up doing like 5 streams a week with like extra scheduled collabs and stuff, unless people were able to do my specific stream times, which I don't think I could handle 5 a week, even if it was every now and then. I don't think I could do it. I think 4 a week's my upper limit for sure. But yeah, okay, so what we are going to do, like I said, we're going to wrap this up, but what I will tell you is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the week. So tomorrow's a big day on the Moog channel, everyone. It's a big day. I don't think you're prepared. It is the return of Resident Evil Thursdays. The return of Resi Evil Thursdays. I know. Everyone's been waiting for so long. By so long, it's been like, what, like 3 weeks? I don't know. It is the return of Resi Evil Thursdays. We will be playing and starting the Resident Evil 4 DLC. I'm expecting the DLC to be a 2-parter. I'm expecting to start it this week, finish it next week, and then hopefully we will get a couple of Resident Evil 5 streams in before my trip, because my trip is in like the middle of October or like the start of October. I don't know. When it happens, I'll let you know. So there will be a week without Resi Evil, without any streams, but yeah, we should be able to get a couple of Resident Evil 5 streams in before then though. And then on Saturday on the MOE Live YouTube channel, we're doing another big Minecraft collab, and we're gonna explore a big spooky cave, and it's gonna be great fun. Highly recommend watching the MOE Live Minecraft stuff. It is like, be it like collabs or like our solo stuff, it's so fun. It's so good. Oh, do you mean MCM? I'm gonna be there on the Friday as usual. So you know, I assume you're probably going on like during the weekend days, but like MCM Saturday is quite literally hell on earth, and I am never putting myself through that again if I don't have to. Yeah, oh, my SMP is so good. It's so fun. Like, no matter who you watch or no matter how many people are in the stream, like, be it like a solo stream or a collab, it is always a good time. So I highly recommend checking it out. We even have lore. We're like starting to build lore. It's wild. Saturday, boo. MCM Saturday is actually terrible. I'd never put myself through that. Yeah. I mean, you do you, of course, but you know, we'll cross paths again someday. All right, it will happen. I'm telling you, it'll happen. Anyway, you know, anyway, I am going to set up a little raid for you all. A wonderful friend of mine is streaming right now. Oh my God, I just looked at the thumbnail of her stream. It is very chaotic. Oh, you're going as Emma Sky. Oh my God, please show me photos. Oh my God. Show me photos when you have them, because that is very slay, very iconic. Also, I will be talking to you at some point about the investigations collection, but I have not got it yet. I am broke. I'm not broke, but like I'm waiting for a sale. Anyway, we're going to set up a raid. Here's the raid message if you have subscriber emotes. Here is the message if you do not. So feel free to use the messages and say hello and be nice. We are going to raid my wonderful, wonderful clown friend, Roko. Some of you probably know Roko already. I believe we've raided her before. She's also just an amazing VTuber in her own right. Very funny, very good at what she does. So we're gonna go hang out there. So please go and give her some love. Yeah, thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. So yeah, we're gonna go hang out there. So be nice and say hello. Anyway, yes, I will wrap this up. A friend of Moog is a friend of ours. Hell yeah. Anyway, I will once again say thank you all very much for keeping me company. I'm super grateful for it. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you whenever I next see you. Big sweets, big love, big beer, big Moog.